Coming up on Double Take Sports Talk, we will update you with headlines and news, matchups to start off the week in the NBA. That is next. All right, this is it. Double Take Sports Talk with the Watch Brothers. Thank you for tuning in. Darrell, on the opposite side, say hello to Darrell to everybody.
Hello, welcome to the show. All right, we're here.
We're here. All right, man. You doing good, man? How you feeling?
Doing good, man.
Okay, man. We got some things that we need to cover here this week in the NBA. Man, you ready to rock this one?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Let's do it.
All right, it's time to take a look at the final scores and stats from last night's games for March 5th. Darren, your show, pimp.
All right, we're going to start this off with the Pacers and the Hawks. In a dramatic fashion, the Pacers pulled out this win by 197-96. Glenn Robinson III with the game-winning three with 0.6 of a second left on the clock. We'll get more into this game in a moment. Then we have Golden State and the New York Knicks. Golden State wins this game 112-105. They improved their record to 51-11. Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson combined for 60 points in that game. Boston, Phoenix. Phoenix pulls out a win 109-106. This was the game that was the buzzer beater shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Orlando and Washington. Washington wins this game by 115-114. Utah and Sacramento. Utah wins this game 110-109. Rudy Gobert's review tipped in wins the game for the Jazz. Oklahoma City Thunder and the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas wins this game 104-89. And a very interesting note here, Russell Westbrook went scoreless in the second and the fourth quarters.
Man, wow.
And then the last game, the New Orleans Pelicans. Wow. And then the last game, I accidentally clicked on something I had no business clicking on. The New Orleans Pelicans and the Los Angeles Lakers. The New Orleans Pelicans wins this game 105-97. This win gives the Pelicans' first win since acquiring DeMarcus Cousins.
That's a pretty long time, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I hate to say that, man. That's a long time.
That's a long time. Yeah.
Man, you get a little worried about that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. With that being said, take a closer look at the Pacers and Hawks game from last night. There was actually a couple things that I wanted to go over from last night's game. One of the key things that me and Darrell was talking about in order for Atlanta, in order for the Pacers to win, is to be able to, well, for Darrell was to, of course, close out games.
Mm-hmm.
One thing you have to do, close out games. They almost didn't at one point.
Right.
The Pacers led as much as 11. Blew an 11-point lead for Atlanta to go up by 6. But what happens? Pacers cut into that lead, cut it down to 1, and then Glenn Robinson III hit that go-ahead basket. Wait a minute, was it by 1?
Yeah, that was down by 2.
They were down by 2, and then that's what they cut. Then that's what they, went back up and won the game by 1 point off of Glenn Robinson III's game-winning shot. You look at this, Darrell.
Mm-hmm.
Which do you believe was more important on the behalf of the Pacers closing out that game, or in the theory of me, keeping Dwight Howard off the boards to be able to win that game? Which was more important?
In this aspect, it was more about closing out the game. You see, they had a good lead. And your theory based on, keeping Dwight Howard off the boards. It might have worked, it may not have worked, but something had to work in order for them to have an 11-point lead. But in this case, if they actually, kept the game the way that it was and they did not blow that lead, then something's wrong with this pitcher. Mm-hmm. But eventually they came together when it was down by 6. They came back to actually take the lead and win the game for good, which caused them to close out the games. So closing out the game was more important, in my opinion, to actually versus getting Dwight Howard out of rhythm. Because like I said, you got Paul Millsap, you got Dennis Schroeder, and you got the Atlanta bench that actually is stronger than the Pacers. So they didn't even have to perform that well in order for the Pacers to win this game. It's just all about the Pacers needing to actually close out and win these games. This is what this is about to me, closing out the games. They got to close them out, and they got to win them. That's how I see it.
And you're right when you say that the Atlanta bench is a lot stronger than the Pacer bench. And the reason being on that behalf is that the leading scorer for the Atlanta Hawks came off the bench. Came off the bench. But in theory, for me, with actually closing out the game, that was actually one of the more important ones to actually do, is to close out that game. But in theory, for me, also to be able to keep Dwight Howard off the boards was another thing that, in order for them to win this game. And, of course, with the whole free throw ordeal. Looking at this from last night right here, 61% for the free throw line. Dwight Howard himself with 5 for 11.
Yeah.
Free throw line.
Yeah.
Now, in the first quarter, he went 1 for 1. So that means he hit his only one free throw, and that came off an and one. It had to, because he ain't shooting. He ain't shooting no technical. I'm about to say, because he ain't shooting no technical foul. That ain't happening. Not with him. Unless he has to be the best free throw shooter and everybody else is shooting under him. He ain't shooting.
That would be good. Yeah, that wouldn't be good at all.
Yeah. But on that behalf, I also said yesterday they're going to have to play him more out here, and look what happened. 33%. Have to play him out here. Yep, you have to play him out here and play him out here.
Yeah.
And if you play him in here, you cannot allow somebody like Dwight Howard to get points in the paint, which really hurt the Pacers on that behalf, because Atlanta had 36 points in the paint. And the Pacers had 24.
That's not good. Yeah, that's not good.
And then Atlanta had 21 points off turnovers, and the Pacers only had 13 off the turnovers. And then on that behalf, 14 turnovers for Atlanta, and then 15 for Indiana. It's all about, like you said, that's why I said the theory in your place is actually more important than, my theory with keeping them off the board. It helped, but you have to close out these games. Mm-hmm. And they did pick Atlanta's defense apart, and they broke down in that final minute of that game. And you look at all this right here, the rebounds, offensive rebounds and the defensive rebounds. You have Atlanta with 44. Pacers, they have 44 rebounds also altogether, but 9 offensive rebounds for the Pacers and then 11 offensive rebounds for Atlanta. That came off mostly off Dwight Howard. 4 of those offensive rebounds came off of him. Paul Millsap had 3, and Tabo Stephalosha had 1. And Kent Bazemore had 1 offensive rebound, not to include Tim Hardaway Jr. and Erison Ilyasova. They both had 1 offensive rebound in that game. Makes 11. And then defensive rebounds, this is where the Pacers won. Pacers pretty much won off of this. Helped win off of this, being able to keep Dwight Howard off the boards, had 10 defensive rebounds, 14 total. This kept them down for the most of the game. And then what kept them down in this defensive rebound category is this right here. This and these long threes that they made that they bricked most of the night. That's what kept them in this game. And that's when they win the game. And then that's where, matter of fact, this right here is the reason why they were able to get this defensive rebound to go into fast break. And Paul George played, what is it called? Cat and mouse. I think that's what it's called. To draw everybody into the paint because they only needed 2 points. So that's what everybody thought he was going to do. Paul George not trying to be a hero about time, not trying to be a hero, pass the ball out to, was it CJ Miles?
No, yeah, CJ Miles. Yeah, it was.
I thought it was somebody else before him. Could have been somebody else before him. But I think it was somebody else before CJ Miles because he passed it off to him, and then he passed it off to CJ Miles, and then CJ Miles swinged it over to the corner. Now, I could be wrong, but then that's what Glenn Robinson hit to go ahead bucket. And that, to me, I think was very important on that behalf in order for them to win that game. And just a couple quick notes from this game. The Pacers had lost 15 of their last 16 in Phillips Arena down there in Atlanta. Miles Turner, the team's second leading scorer this season, went 2 for 7 from the field to finish with only 5 points. Lavoy Allen did not play because of a sore left knee, which I did not know that. And Thaddeus Young, battling a sore left wrist, played 24 minutes to score 4 points. And then for the Atlanta Hawks, Darvin Ham debuted as head coach. He's been on staff since Bolton Hoser took over in 2013. And Jose Calderon claimed off waivers before the game, was in uniform but did not play. And the brutal numbers, and we just talked about this. The Hawks went 19 for 31 on free throws, including 5 for 11 free throws, including 5 of 11 performance by Dwight Howard. And then the Pacers were 12 for 21 from the foul line.
Man, that is something. I want to also get a couple more notes in there real quick there. The Pacers that went 15 for 33. There was 45%, as we mentioned. There was 46% practically from three-point range in that win. That was the most three-pointers the Pacers have made in the game since they hit a season-high 17 in a win over Charlotte on December 12th. So, of course, we're going to be previewing that game here in just a brief second. And a couple things to note also. Of course, yesterday I said prior to Sunday, the Pacers had dropped their last 4 and 15 of the last 16 regular season games in Atlanta, dating back to the 2007-2008 season. Of course, Indiana has not yet to lose this season on a Sunday. They are 6-0. The Pacers play on each of the next 4 Sundays. So this is going to be pretty critical.
Very critical. Because they had more time off, and now they got to catch back up. So now this is a very critical moment for them to get back on the road, get back on sync. So, yeah, you're very right. That's very critical. Yeah. It's very critical.
And, of course, Mike Budenhauser was suspended for Sunday's contest. He had made contact with an official after the loss that they had Friday night against Cleveland.
That game right there, I just watched a couple seconds of that game, and what did it for them was turnovers. That one critical turnover just changed the game around. Yeah. That's no excuse.
Yeah. No excuse.
No excuse.
No excuse.
No excuse. Bonehold should have just left that alone. That turnover was something that should have been going over. You can't give a good team like that turnovers like that to be able to convert over like that. Because now you had to foul one of the best free throw shooters on the team, Kyrie Irving, and he made both free throws, which put them back up to 5. You can't do that. It's inexcusable.
I agree. So, of course, as I just said, the Pacers are going to conclude their road trip against the Charlotte Hornets tonight, which we are getting ready to shift right on over to that.
Yay.
Yeah.
Da-da-da.
All right. It's time to preview the Pacers and the Magic. The Hornets. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Anyway, of course, the games tonight is going to be at 8 o'clock tip-off after Spectrum Center, 8 o'clock Eastern Spectrum Center. It's going to be aired on TNT. And, of course, I'm going to look at the starters for this. For the Hornets. Come on, get with the game. The Hornets.
Yep.
You got Kemba Walker, Nicholas Batum in the 1 and 2, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist and Marvin Williams at the 3 and 4, and Cody Zeller in the 5 spot. And for the Pacers, you got Jeff Teague and Paul George as the 1 and 2, C.J. Miles, Thaddeus Young as the 3 and 4, and Miles Turner as the 5. An injury report to report, of course, Lavoy Allen. He is going to be questionable with a sore left knee, which I highly doubt he's going to play because that is a pretty big ordeal.
Yes.
And for the Hornets, they got Frank Kaminsky. He is out with a left AC joint sprain. And then you have Miles Plumlee. He is out for the right calf strain. And then Ramon Sessions is out for tonight's game with a left knee surgery. Had surgery on that left knee, and he is going to be out. I have the notes of it. This is both the Pacers and the Hornets' time for a desperate win here. The Hornets is coming off a win, and the Pacers is also coming off a win. So they need to string together a couple of wins here to actually get themselves back in rhythm if they want to keep the playoff race going in their momentum. So this is going to be very hard to work out for them. And of course, if this doesn't work out for the Pacers, they always got a second chance. They got a couple of weeks from now at Baker's Life Fieldhouse. So the last meeting, December 12th, 2016, the Pacers had snapped a 4-game losing streak at that time against the Hornets with a 110-94 victory at Baker's Life Fieldhouse. The Pacers had shot 49% from the field while holding Charlotte to just 33%. Yeah. Paul George and Miles Turner shared the leading scorers honors for Indiana with 22 apiece. Jeff Teague added a double-double. Tallying 16 points and 11 assists. That is going to be a big factor. Pacers need a playmaker. And if Jeff Teague can put up those type of numbers for the rest of this season, throwing up double-digit assists, the Pacers could be well on their way to a playoff run. I'm just throwing that out there. That's just me personally. That's what the Pacers need. Marco Bellinelli had a team high 14 points for the Hornets, and Nicholas Batum had added 13 points and 10 rebounds in that loss. And a couple things to note for tonight's game. The Pacers lead the overall series with the Hornets 61-40. But it's 21-28 in games played in Charlotte. Yes. The Hornets have won 4 of their 5 past regular season home games against the Pacers dating back to the 2013 to 2014 season. And lastly but not least, Indiana is just 3-10 overall and 0-6 on the road this season when playing on the second night of back-to-back. And this is going to be critical for the Pacers because this is the final road trip for them and just coming off of a road win in Atlanta and have to travel to Charlotte and play tonight. So this is going to be very, very brutal for the Pacers to get themselves in sync for tonight's game. This is going to be very, very interesting on how one can handle their week. All right. Got some analysis for tonight's game?
Yes, I do. Was it Denver that played last night? Denver played last night, did they?
I'm assuming they did, yes.
Let me double check that, make sure I got that right before I go into this. And no, they did not play last night.
Okay. Must be another night.
I'm looking. I think it was the other night. Yes. Where'd it go? Yes, Denver. That's who. Okay, so it was Denver. So it was the other night that they played. Okay. I automatically could just give my prediction right off the bat before I even go into the analysis. And it's going to lead right. It's going to lead right into the analysis anyway.
Sure.
For the most part, Pacers just coming off a win, going on the airplane, coming straight to Charlotte. Charlotte had a night off. Charlotte is more energized. Fatigue is going to play a big role in this game, a big pivotal role in this game. I don't think the Pacers have done too good coming off of a game going into another game to win. So I would love to see the Pacers win this game tonight, but I don't see it happening just simply because of fatigue. I'm going to have to go with Charlotte.
Okay.
But go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I agree. I got Charlotte in this game tonight, too.
The only way that the Pacers could still win this game if Charlotte actually played just like the Pacers, and that's lazy. Because the Pacers are probably not – well, they're probably a little bit energized considering that they just did pull off a big win. But I think fatigue is going to play – like I said, fatigue is going to play a big role in this game, and here's why I say fatigue is going to play a big role in this game. Reason why I say that fatigue is going to play a big role in this game for the Pacers is, one, because like I said, they're just now coming off a win in Atlanta, and now they have to get on the plane right after that win and refocus themselves and rejuvenate themselves for the Atlanta game tonight, which is at 8 o'clock on TNT. That, to me, is one big deal. That's one thing. I'm sorry, Charlotte. That's one thing. And then the other thing is the reason why I believe fatigue is going to play a big role in it is because they're already still worn out. To me, personally, they might still be worn out. And because of that, they're going to play some lazy defense, which is going to lead to this right here.
It does.
Yes. That's what it's going to lead to. It's going to lead to free throws. It's going to lead to them always having to foul them. Especially if they slack off for 1 second, that's what it's going to lead to. But if they don't, they're going to have to force them to do this, without a doubt. They're going to have to force them to just do just this. Not this. They can't do this.
No, they have.
They have to force them out here. If they want to win this game, they're going to have to force them out here. They cannot force them right here. Well, I mean, for the most part, they can, but that will have to be coming off three-pointers. That would be the one thing they would have to do in order for them to win. Forget the rebounds, because if the Pacers could get them to continue to do this right here, if they continue to do this, then that means it's going to lead to long rebounds right here and right here. And it will allow them to get more rebounds and start a fast break to hopefully be able to keep their momentum going, and hopefully they rejuvenate it and do whatever's necessary for them to win in tonight's game. But I'm just going to have to go with Charlotte because I'm not going to take any risks and actually picking the Pacers on this behalf. I'm just not going to do it. So I got.
Well, just keep in mind about this. This season series is split 1-1. So this is a big advantage point with 2 games for them to play tonight, and then I think 2 weeks from now. It'll be their final game.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind also. The season series is split. Of course, the last 2 wasn't even a close contest. So, yeah, we're just keeping that in mind about the Pacers and the Hornets. That is an 8 o'clock game. It's going to be at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte. And that game
They changed that arena name?
Yeah.
When they do that?
I don't know. I don't think it is. I think it was either season 2 or this season.
Wow, because this picture that they got still says Time Warner Cable Arena. It's very interesting. Picture's worth 1,000 words. I guess this must be an old picture. This must be an old picture then.
Yeah, I got Spectrum Center.
Wow, they changed the name of it. I didn't even know it.
Yeah, I got the Spectrum Center.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I didn't know that.
Looking at the preview, I got the Spectrum Center. So, yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to load up the headlines, which is great to go into now, the headlines for the NBA, NFL, and MLB. And I absolutely see nothing of change. Nothing. So, of course, as you said, of course, about Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry, they combined for 60 points. The Suns' Ulyss, that he beats the buzzer, and Boston blew a game. And then Rudy Gobert's tip in as reviewed, and they had won that game. Now, Darren, this is, I say, the most exciting part about this podcast as we move into the NFL. The final day of NFL Combine workouts. It is live right now on the NFL Network as of 11 o'clock. Also, Julius Peppers, he plans to play his 16th season.
Ain't that it?
And then I remember you, Darren, back quite a few episodes ago, you was talking about Julius Peppers. You didn't even know he was still playing.
Yeah, because he had broke a record. He broke a record with the Green Bay Packers. I'm like, Jesus, man, still playing? Yeah.
He's not old, so you better keep that.
He's not old, but he got quiet on me. He got quiet because his name used to be showing up on NFL websites and all that good stuff for quite some time, and now it's just like you barely hear from him.
You're right, Darren. You're absolutely right. So yeah, Julius Peppers, he's planning on playing his 16th season. Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive end Golston, he agrees to a 5-year contract extension. Jay Gruden signs a 2-year contract extension with the Redskins. Yeah, that's all I see on here for the NFL. So the exciting part, like I said, Combine last day. So
yes,
keeping that in mind.
Yes.
And for baseball, MLB, we got Darren, your St. Louis is playing 105 pitch off. And the Cubs are playing the Angels 310 tip-off. Well, pitch-off.
I believe both prospective teams won yesterday, I believe.
I think the Cubs lost.
They came back in that – what in the world?
Did they?
The Cubs was winning that game.
What?
Yes, they were winning that game.
Okay, hang on.
I'm looking now. I'm sure looking
St.
now.
Louis won. Yeah, they finished in the tie.
Oh, they finished in the tie?
Yep, the Cubs, the Rangers finished in the tie. St. Louis won yesterday.
See, they let them come back because the Cubs was leading 9-7 last I had seen.
I don't understand why I only know why this game finished in the tie with the errors that the Rangers had.
But the what?
The errors.
Oh.
The Rangers had 2 errors.
They had 2 errors, but yeah, remember those 2 errors probably happened earlier in innings, and they probably made up for that, and that's why they came back.
Well, yeah, you're right, but sometimes it's hard to bounce back in baseball with errors like those.
That's very true.
Unless you're really a talented team.
Maybe their spring people are very good, talented people. It's just that too bad they couldn't win.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Great. Keep in mind, Derek, your St. Louis tips off at 105. And tip off 310.
Gotcha.
Right.
Oh, man.
Okay. And to note, of course, St. Louis is 7-2 in the spring training, and the Cubs are 3-5 and 1, maybe more. But all right. Final thoughts, Darren. You got anything you want to say?
I sure don't. Not a thing. Let's get Combine in here and let's them finish up the last of their day, and let's get the Combine moving on over to 2018.
Yeah, I agree there. All right. I don't have none either, but I just agree with that. So we're just going to leave it as that. All right. So the other exciting part of this is time to wrap this up. This is another edition of Double Take Sports Talk. If you like what you see, you give the video a thumbs up. If you have any thoughts about today's show, you can just comment in the comment section below. Of course, if you, just feel that you want to comment, anything else you want to do, help yourself at it. But until then, I'm Darrell, Darren on the opposite side.
Yep.
All right. Catch up with us on another episode of Double Take Sports Talk. Until then, ciao.
Ciao.
This is Double Take Sports Talk with the Watch Brothers. I'm Darrell Watts. If you enjoyed the podcast and would like to see more, check out our videos on YouTube. And while you're there, subscribe, like, and share our videos. We don't mind. We're also on the social media side where you can catch up on the latest news and developer stories and different stat information. Follow us on Twitter at DTST2414. Or you can follow me, Darrell, at Love University, and follow Darren also at Darren Watch 14. We're on Facebook also, Double Take Sports Talk page at the Watch Brothers. Darren's is Darren Watts on Facebook, and I am myself, Darrell Watts II on Facebook. We got the blog Feature Critical Thinking and Analysis, so you can check that out at doubleTakeSportsTalk.blogspot.com. Thanks again.